0600 hours here in Tucson, Arizona. How's everyone doing? I'm not showing my face right now. I'm just I've been trying to sleep for the past 3 hours and I haven't. I've been thinking, what the flock is going on with Project Blue? Okay, we all know about Project Bluebeam. So there's a project that's going around here in Tucson, Arizona. There are two facilities that they're getting ready to break ground. It's over 900 acres. Okay. Permissions are given instead of having certain land restriction and water, permissions are being given by LLC. It's BBI LLC Dobson, and that's actually a corporation that's a Korean sister or cousin. I have been having dreams of the future. Remember, I always say I come from the future. So my dreams now finally make sense. We're in January of 2026, and I've been dreaming about these dreams since 2018, 2021, 2022 of construction sites underground. And I'm also on white buses, and they tell me to pretty much get down from the bus because I don't belong there. So they pretty much drop me off at bus stations in the middle of nowhere, desert. It seems like Mars or Phoenix. You know how that goes. Now, these dreams that I've been having, most of them are with yellow buses transporting. If I told you yesterday about the visions that I had of boots on the ground, okay? Boots on the ground, back in the day, I was seeing many vehicles just parked in a line. They had to go through inspection. And they had to give, in this vision, March of 2019, they had to give a white piece of paper to the military. Back then, I thought that the white piece of paper was the passport with the baby Jabberwockies in order to fly internationally. But now that I see what's going on, it's actually what I was predicting was what is going on right now with so-called ICE. Remember, there are real ICE agents and they are the fake ICE agents. The reason why the Biden regime or whatever administration let a lot of families in during his time in office was to let, most of them are criminals, okay? I'm not saying all of them are, but mainly older men that are pretty much angry. Some of them come from South Africa, some Venezuela, some Mexico, some Afghanistan, things like that. I'm not saying that some of the families are not real and they're here to work. That's great. But there were some, most of them, I'm going to say 75% were the ones that were being used for this whole, pretty much a war that's going on. I've said this many times before. I know people that are close to me that have worked for a doctor in Hawaii. His name is Dr. V, like in Victor. I'm not going to say his last name. He's a doctor over there and works for FEMA, has his own camps, and is very good friends with the Hawaiian governor. Now, this particular person, I've said it many times, would place camps whenever the doctor said, hey, go ahead and give whatever baby Jabberwocky or whatever these people are coming in across the border, okay? She said that they were asked, hey, do you want another name? They would drop their ID. The families, especially the mothers, the fathers, they had no idea what the children's medical record was. Okay. These men were let to go to the Red Roof Inn on Irvington here and on the southeast part of town, if they had any kind of symptoms or if they were sick or whatever. I'm not going to say the word. After that, they were given permission to go anywhere in the United States, even abroad. Okay. So this is the whole thing that I've been telling you about. A lot of people don't want us to say civil war, but it's pretty much a war that's going on. Now, the bad ice is here, and believe it or not, it's part of what dark journalists spoke about this 3 days ago about the Temple of Neith. Neith didn't have parents. She was the goddess of Atlantis, and then was the go-to from when we came from Atlantis to Egypt. She has a son named Ra, which does not have a husband. Okay, so this whole thing that's going on right now with ICE, believe it or not, he said that it has something to do with the NAZI, regime, fighting against the Atlanteans, ICE. And that's why I feel a lot of us are here as well, to tell you, hey, we come from the future, this is what's going on. Anyway, you can look that up with dark journalists. Now, or do your own research. Now, going back to the Project Blue, what does all this have to do with Project Blue? I'm telling you, my dreams have been telling me, my visions of being underground, and these men are mad because I'm speaking against this project. Now, the whole project, you know what it is? You ready to hear what it is? It's actually because the transportation department, this is what I saw, it's going to be another like type of Area 51, but it's to open up portals. So that way the vehicles, the buses, transportation, all these people being taken, they're going through portals, just like the Project Stargate. Okay, we had to go through the Stargate. And we survived, but some of the homeless, they were using a lot of homeless and indigenous people and Mexican people and people from South America. I'm not kidding, listen to Project Pegasus. I was part of that with Andrew Bashago. Listen to that. This makes me really mad, okay? And then freaking Ronald Reagan, he lets people experiment, the German Nazi ones experiment for MK Ultra. I was part of that too in the 80s. Okay, wake up. This whole thing, they want to make new, we'll just say wormholes or portals, so that way they don't have to drive for hours. These bus drivers, these rigs, these semis, right? Trailers, think about it. Do your research. And it's also for more people to be taken, abducted, experiment with, and I don't consent to that. I do see that, hey, you can be in 1 second here and in the other second Antarctica, 1 second here and another second in Hawaii. Hey, we got our goods, right? But who is all this part of? The ETs. I don't like to call them aliens. I usually call them the people that were here, that were from the future, that have gone pretty much bad and are using technology and children for their stupidity, for their pedophilia, which I am against. And that's what I speak against. Okay? All right. Today we're going to be at the Crying Onion. I'm going to be speaking about this Project Blue. It is part of Project Bluebeam and Project Pegasus, believe it or not. And I do not consent to these things being here in Tucson. I remember back in the day when I was a kid and they dumped a bunch of Raytheon water, and that's radiation. We have radiation poisoning. I have a lot of problems physically, but I'm what they call a special soldier used by the Department of Defense as a 1.5-year-old. They took me. I'm part of Project ACIO. I'm part of many projects. I may not remember the names, but they are black ops. Okay. I have been contacted by DARPA agents. Okay. And then and they said, well, why are you talking? You've gone rogue. They're not going to believe you anyway. Why do you talk about CIA? You got to stop talking about CIA. You got to use another word for that. I'm like, no, I'm going to keep talking. And he took me to Oro Ranch, past Oro Valley. He's like, do you know how many people I can bury here? And I'm like, go ahead, dude. Like, I'm not going to stop talking. And then later on, we were green screened. Those of you that have been listening to me, thank you. And the new ones, I have Facebook, Instagram. I wrote 3 books. They're on Amazon. I make beautiful junk journals because it's pretty tough being here on Earth, knowing all this stuff. They have deleted Cyrus Parsa. He spoke about the book that he wrote, Artificial Intelligence and the Dangers of Humanity. He told Trump about it. But what happened? They took him out. Okay. This is dangerous territory that we tread, and I do not take this stuff lightly. Okay? I put my life out on the line. I was in the military and I was a police officer. They tried to take me out so many times. They just recently sent me cancer. Yes, I'm angry about it, but I keep going forward. And I'm telling you guys, you that are called so-called super soldiers, I know I don't like the word because I'm part of that program. Fucking shut the fuck up about all this, crying. Quit your bitching and suit up because this is the time we're here for. All right. See you later. Love you guys. Bye.